Another important story involving members of the Westford community came from a Westford favorite, Good Pickin Farm. Bob Wiskevitz and Sandra Hobby, who run the farm, recently donated 100,000 pounds of crops to food pantries across Massachusetts. This year marked the second consecutive year the farm has done this, which was made possible after residents voted overwhelmingly in support of the initiative last year. WestfordCAT spoke to Bob and Sandra and asked them what inspired them to begin this initiative, how the process of growing and harvesting the crops works, and how Westford residents can continue to support the farm and the local food pantries.
Everybody's talking about food insecurity and the need for that. Sandra and I both grew up without too much, and my farmer partner in the farm, Bob Webb and his wife, once again, you didn't have very much food, and we would live on small farms. He in Missouri, myself in Central Mass, and we had milk coming straight from the cow, and we had food coming off the land. We were poor, but we didn't know we were poor because we had enough to eat. That's not the truth anymore.
In the interview, Bob said Massachusetts is the third wealthiest state in the country, but around 169,000 kids still go hungry. Bob said he grew up in central Massachusetts in a family without much money, and said he felt it was his duty to make even a small difference in combating hunger.
In Massachusetts, third wealthiest state, 169,000 kids going to bed hungry. And we're making just a little dent in that. But we're going to continue to make that dent, and it'll work out. It's getting better all the time.
Bob and Sandra said much of the help they get in planting, growing, and harvesting the crops comes from the Boston area gleaners, who begin planting crops in May, which then grow over the summer and are harvested in September and October. Cover crops are then distributed over the soil to protect it during the winter. Then different crops are planted on the same soil in the spring, as rotating crops helps the soil stay healthy and improve growth. While many different vegetables, fruits, and other crops are harvested at the farm and sent to food pantries, Bob and Sandra said butternut squash was this year's crop of choice.
People say, well, why are you raising 100,000 pounds of butternut squash? Well, any one of us that have had a butternut squash at Thanksgiving, 3 months later you still got it and it's whole and it's solid, has a great shelf life to it.
I know they actually last about a year.
Is that right?
I did not know that. I just, yep.
Somebody said that to me the other day, and I'm glad you're saying, because I began to doubt it. Someone said, we've got one from last Thanksgiving. I said, you can't.
Yeah, but they do. That's how long they...
So great shelf life, doesn't have to be refrigerated, so to speak, and that's fantastic, and high antioxidant value.
Bob and Sandra have continued to keep Good Pickin Farm an important center of the community in Westford. They hope that through support coming from the town of Westford and its residents, they can keep the initiative going in the future.
I always stop to point out that field and to talk to people about, and it blows their mind because they don't expect to hear that. That's all of that food was given away. Yes, every single bit of it. A little tiny bit stays in Westford because that's all they can take.
Right.
But throughout this whole state, it hits all kinds of people. And in this world, it's a really wonderful thing.